Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another cast. Guys, today I have for you an epic 4v4 on an epic map called Wilderness. I think this is Lemonkainen's new map pack. I think the past couple maps that I've casted have been, this is Lemonkainen's new stuff, his new maps. So, guys, why don't you strap yourselves in? Based on my last video, more of you drank coffee than what I might have expected. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Guys, let me say about this map. It is hovercraft friendly, as you can see. There's all sorts of metal spots in this kind of swampy area. So I expect to see a lot of hovercrafts just because it's the easiest way to traverse this sort of terrain. Of course, there is a land bridge here in the middle as well. This is a new map. I've never casted it. I've never played on it. But I do know that there will be hovercraft shenanigans galore. And I have heard that this game is going to be awesome. It's a 4v4. Very high-skilled players in our repertoire. And yeah, I'm excited to see where this map takes us. It looks like there's plenty of metal. There's some geos, obviously. Lots of metal here in the kind of swampy areas as well. So with hovercraft, this should be an interesting game. We already see some skimmers entering into the fray here. But yeah, it almost looked like they weren't attacking. Let's go ahead and introduce the players before we get too much into anything else. Here in pink, Stangma Jr., one of the best of the best of the best. Sir, this guy is so good. Of course, my boy Wotan in green, the mod creator, the man, the myth, the legend, the escalation god. Literally, he made it. Annie Daddy, please say it again. This man is building enough energy storages to start some kind of power company and overcharge his customers with ridiculously priced bills that none of us can afford. Here in blue, finally, on the northern team, we have Stuka. So, yeah, I think already I can say I like the teams here. In purple, we have Rage Gamer. Mr. Rage Gamer, the map maker, the Rager. Gotta love this guy. He's a character, always fun to watch, always entertaining. And in orange, Mr. Major Paradox. In brown, we have who is this? It's Mannix. I don't really know this person. And finally, in yellow, of course, we have Lemonkainen. This man, a absolute beast of a player. Someone that you never want to be on the receiving end of, metaphorically or literally. He will shove his manly appendage into places that are better not discussed here on this family-friendly stream. So all I want to say is that Lemonkainen, very good player, very tough to deal with, and yeah, already I'm liking how this map is shaping up. We have streams of units pouring in from both sides, as you can see here on the mega map. Tons of action already on the way. And Mr. Annie Daddy, he's going full eco here. He's building a few thuds, but yeah, this is going to be an interesting game for sure. It kind of depends on how much air is used as well. Hovercrafts are obviously going to be used, but air could be the big difference maker on this map. As you can see, you have these lava pits that hurt your eyes, and air can be used to traverse these and get behind enemy lines. That could certainly play a big role in this game as we progress to the middle and later stages. But guys, I know this is going to be a good match. I've been told it is. I've been told that it's going to be a life-changing endeavor. So please strap yourselves in as the action is only beginning. Now, I do want to ask my viewers. I was told by some people that the game is too slow and to speed it up a little bit. I think there's a bit of a conflict in my community because some people do like it on normal speed. Just because it's easier to digest and also to appreciate the glory and the glamour and the grandeur of the battles. And so let me know what you think in the chat. Do you like it sped up? I can certainly speed it up. I can make the game happen more quickly if you're time crunched. But also if you want me to keep it at normal speed, so that you can kind of get a feel for how the actual game plays out in real time. I mean, you can kind of feel what the players are feeling as they participate in the slaughter. And slaughter it is already. Lemminkainen with a nice push of salamanders. How much can they get done? It looks like they're going to kill at least a couple mexes. I thought they were. Okay, yeah, he does stop and kill that mex. The salamanders do move through. Nice micro by Lemminkainen, somehow threading the needle, getting into the back line and getting some raiding accomplished, being very annoying. As I mentioned earlier, Mr. Annie Daddy, he's being very greedy here, so he's not going to have as much as some of the other players to defend his base, and this one salamander is the salamander in the soup. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, something's going on. It looks like 2 players dropped. That could be a recorder bug. No, I don't think it's a bug. It looks like Red has dropped out of the game. Now, it's hard to say whether Red dropped out because he had to go or the game crashed or if he was just really tilted because Lemminkainen with his nice rating, with salamander rating, he could have tilted Red out of the game. Now that would be kind of an interesting twist here because yeah. And it's unfortunate because his teammates weren't even able to take his stuff, so now the Northern team is down a player and they get nothing in return. There's no upside. They don't get all of his units or eco. They'll have to rebuild his base. So it's going to be a tough game now for the Northern team. It is a 3v4. And, of course, they're against Lemminkainen. Lemminkainen, who basically forced Red to quit, I think. Didn't force him to quit, but he caused him to quit. He had the effect of tilting Mr. Annie Daddy out of the game with his nice salamander rush. But I do think that Red wasn't building enough defenses. He was playing very greedy. I mentioned that, and that did, in the end, come back to bite him. You have to. You can't sleep on Lemminkainen. This man is a monster, and already applying even more pressure. Not even giving the Northern team chance to breathe or recover. No good sportsmanship here. Lemminkainen going for the jugular, pushing forward with a lot of snappers, and these snappers are kind of like a tier 1.5 hovercraft. They're expensive, but they have a lot of health. They're pretty hard to kill on T1. They're just super tanky and pretty fast too, as you can see. Their move speed, nothing to scoff at. Their weapon isn't the best. It's got a bit of a travel time. Doesn't do a huge amount of damage, but it's mostly just how hard they are to kill and the fact that they can traverse any terrain that makes them an issue. So again, Lemminkainen going for the jugular, not giving the Northern team a chance to breathe. And if I was a betting man, I would say this game is already over. Wotan in the chat complaining to Lemminkainen. It's a 4v3, sir. Have some mercy, you monster. Have some mercy. Please give us a chance, God. But Lemminkainen he knows no mercy. He is a he's less of a man, and he's more of a machine. He's designed to wipe out the hopes and dreams of men. He has no interest in such paltry and petty ideas as mercy. That such things are only for the weak. The weak, indeed, the weak. Red already left. Already a victim. Already a victim of Lemminkainen's brutality. And, yeah, the Southern team really keeping the pressure on. And honestly, being on the receiving end of Stagma and Lemminkainen at the same time, it's, well, it's sort of maybe like watching the movie Deliverance. You definitely don't want to be in the situation here. And now, Orange as well, pushing through Wotan's patented light laser tower line or fortification that he loves to do. But there's just way too much here. I mean, again, the Northern team is in dire straits, losing a player early on. And then the Southern team, no sportsmanship at all. Looking at you, Lemminkainen. Looking at you, Mannix. No, yeah, see, I got this wrong. So brown is Mannix, it's pink is Stagma Jr. So yeah, we let's get the players right. But yeah, I'm looking at you, Southern team. You haven't shown any mercy at all. No sportsmanship in this game. And I know that if I was on the Northern team, I would probably mentally be in a very kind of cynical, pessimistic situation for sure. Having a player drop out just because he was too greedy, and then Lemminkainen punished him for it. That's what it looked like to me. I mean, I guess we can never know for sure. I'm just speculating what happened, but it really did look like Lemminkainen was merciless and continues to be so. And as you can see, the whole northern side of the Team 1's base struggling to have anything. They are sending units, but there's no defenses yet. They'll probably have to try to build something. They do have this natural lava pit, and that will give them some measure of defense. But yeah. Now, the only advantage to being in a 3v4 is that you do get more resources. So you're splitting your resources between 3 players instead of 4. Lemminkainen pushing through with some scalpels, but the Northern team's ready for that. Stagma Jr. with a huge amount of Panthers. Lemminkainen. Yeah, a little bit of arguing in the chat about what constitutes gentlemanly play, but of course we know as superior cultured men that there is no gentlemanly play in this game. It is total annihilation. All that matters is winning. Whatever it takes, however you do it, even if you want to tilt your opponents out of the game, that is a strategy. Or, like the last game I casted, just waiting them out. All you've got to do is stay alive for about 2 hours and people will start leaving. Walker will tilt. He'll, you know, Wotan will start blaming his teammates. And Abdul Rahman will have an emotional meltdown on the stream. Whatever you got to do to win, that's what I'm saying. There are no rules in this game. It's only about the victory. It's total annihilation, my friends. That is exactly what we are going to witness right now as Stagma ready for a counterattack. He is prepared. He is ready for revenge. He's not going to let Lemminkainen control the pace of the game. Now, this is a nice battle. I like the Nemesis here. Nemesis, the T2 core riot control hovercraft. Now that's a mouthful. But yeah, look, pink and yellow are definitely the best players in this game. So these are the two juggernauts. These are the two stars. These are kind of the players to watch. So we will keep an eye on these two, as I'm sure they will clash over and over again as kind of the titans of their teams. The legends, as it were. But the northern team has stopped the bleeding for now. They have managed to plug the hole. They've managed to stabilize a little bit after that 3v4. After the southern team attempted to finish them off quickly, but they were not ready to die just yet. Through sheer willpower alone did they survive, and now the game will continue into the later phases. But again, it's still a 4v3. I like how many fighters that Stagma has. Again, Lemminkainen and Stag fighting for air control. Air dominance is so incredibly important. NTA Escalation, you definitely want to keep control of the skies for a lot of different reasons. One is that it gives you unprecedented map control. It lets you go where you want. Another thing is that it allows you to defend your units from the sky. And you can harass as well, so you can take your fighters or bombers or gunships and get a lot of damage done on invading armies like this one right here. Or I'll have to see if Stag wants to do that. Okay, he is paying attention now. So you can see these volleys, Freedom Fighter missiles, adding some chaos to the carnage, adding even more damage. So again, this is why air control is important. If Lemminkainen had air control, Stagma could not do this, but now Stagma, with his air control, was able to stop that push easily. So guys, air control is so vital in this mod, in this game. You've got to have air control. Especially in the big team games, it's so important, and good players know that. So now Lemminkainen pushing through with a nice hovercraft play. Tons of Nemesis. Let me slow it down. So guys, one thing I want to say about the Nemesis, they're really interesting units because they're kind of slower, but they do a lot of damage, and they're very good at taking out large groups of light units like these compositions. Blue will lose his advanced K-Bot lab. That is a lot of hovercrafts Lemminkainen currently has in his possession. And Brown offering some support as well. And this looks like a pretty scary push, but Stagma with an upgraded penetrator. You can tell it's upgraded because it has the double cannons. So it will fire a much higher rate than just a regular penetrator. But is one penetrator enough to stop the tide? This Hellion must be a new unit. I've never even seen this before. It's cool though. Looks like a floating Dominator. It shoots so fast. I love it. I like this unit. This is so cool. That's a very neat unit. Man, the fire rate is actually impressive. But once again, Stagma's aerial control coming into play. And showing his skill as a player. Having aerial control is so vitally important. And this is kind of the only thing keeping them in the game right now. That and these penetrators. Lemminkainen attempting to push through. He wants to end the game quickly. But Stagma, he's not going to let it happen just yet. Lemminkainen attempting to get some purchase on this air control, but he simply doesn't have enough. Those Avengers will evaporate, exploding in the sky, their fiery remnants falling to the earth. The robot pilots sent to the void, never to be seen again. Now, if you can notice, the freedom fighters actually have cockpits. It's kind of hard to see, but I think according to the lore, these actually have pilots. The Avengers do not. They are AI controlled. As you can see, these Finks more have eyes than they do cockpits. The little robot eyes that can see you from anywhere, but yeah, anyway, look, even though Lemonkainen's push did not win the game, you can see how successful it was. This entire area of the map has been cleaned out, wreaking a swath of destruction all the way through the northwest corner of the Team 1's base. And Lemonkainen, again, not willing to show any mercy. He's also on T2 air now. So you can see that Lemonkainen is very aware of this importance of controlling the sky. So now he's building Vamps. The Vamp, of course, the T2 core fighter. And Vamps are much, much stronger than Freedom Fighters. So Lemonkainen is taking this very seriously. He wants to wrestle control of the sky back because I think he knows the only reason that the Northern team didn't just die right there is because Stagma Jr. had control of the air, and so he's got to get that back. He's got to take the air back, take back the sky. If he can do that, then his next push will probably be successful. But Stagma knows this too, so Stagma is going T3 air. So the players continuing to try to one-up each other. Oh, you love to see it. You love to see it. You love to see it, my friends. TA Escalation is a game of one-upmanship. That's all there is to it. You got to do it better than your opponent. Stag on T1 air. Complete control of the sky. Lemonkainen counters by going T2 air and pumping out Vamps. And then Stagma counters that by going T3 air. These players are in each other's heads. They're playing 4D chess. They're on a plane of existence that you can't even fathom, my friend. My pleb viewers, I appreciate you, but you cannot appreciate this level of skill. It's, these are the Einsteins. These are the Isaac Newtons of total annihilation, my friends. These men see things that no immortal eyes should possibly see. Staring into the void, selling their souls to the devil to be so damn good at the game, and they're in each other's heads. And man, what a nice push by Orange here. The Northern team bending over and over, but not breaking. But they are bending. There's a lot of defenses. Wotan's done a good job here. Lots of heavy laser towers. So with all of this defense and the Fidos and the air control, the aforementioned control of the sky, they will hang on again. I think they will just survive. Wotan also building shooters as well. What an impressive defense. What a hold. Very nicely played by our friends here. Orange didn't quite have enough. Now, he did do some damage, but the defenses hold. And once again, the Northern team somehow scrapes by the skin of their teeth. The upgraded Bulldog, these are new in this patch. The Bulldog with 3 cannons. You love to see it. God damn, you love to see it. I really like what Stagma's doing here. He's playing out of his mind this game. He's got his upgraded vehicle plant. You can see because of the two this little icon here just below the lab. So that's an upgraded plant. Wotan has an upgraded K-Bot lab as well. And once again, Stagma almost at T3 air, attempting to maintain control of the skies and do more than that even. do more than maintain control of the skies. Perhaps even take the fight to the enemy. Some T3 bombing raids could be just what the doctor ordered. As I mentioned earlier in this cast, there's some great avenues of approach. Imagine if there was an attack that flew over this lava pit. And there's a little bit of air defense here, but nowhere near enough to stop a dedicated T3 air raid. That would just be a devastating display of aerial evisceration, if you will. One Aurora could do some serious work. Just one Aurora could be enough to kind of end the game for the southern team, and certainly the northern team. They need to search for answers. It's not enough to just defend. They need to find a way to take the battle to the enemy. Finally, Lemminkainen has decided to assert himself onto the map, ready to display his aerial dominance and exert control over his opponent. There's a lot of freedom fighters, but each vamp is worth probably 3 or 4 of those, so in a well-microed fight, Lemminkainen should easily win. It does come down to micro, it does come down to how the players control it, so... But yeah, this amount of vamps, more than enough to take out what Stag has in the sky at the moment, but of course he is on T3 now. And with him being on T3, this game may take a much different turn from what we've currently witnessed. Now, having said that, Lemminkainen is also on T3, going T3 hovers. This is an interesting choice because we don't usually see T3 hovers, so it's kind of a treat. There's a lot of options that he has here once he gets some construct. Obviously, he's going to build some construction hovercraft, but then he can go into the Overseer, the destroyer hover tank. That it says anti-sub. That might be more of a naval-centered hovercraft. He can do the Autocrat, of course. I think that's like the floating doomsday machine. The Flail is the heavy AA hover cruiser, and finally, the Hegemon. Of course, the Hegemon is extremely expensive, and he probably can't really afford that yet. But, yeah. I'll be interested to see what he wants to go for. He's got some interesting options. It's all expensive, but if he can get there, we might see something impressive this game. We might see something that changes our lives a little bit. With those experimental T3 hovercrafts. And I don't mean experimental in the usual way. I mean, it's an experimental strategy. We don't see it very often, but I won't turn my nose up at it, my friends. I'd love to see some T3 hovercraft play. Nice use of shooters by Brown. Pushing Stagma off. So the southern team is pretty well defended, at least by land. And it will be difficult to make any kind of dedicated assault against these positions. But air is another story. Purple has some anti-air here, but it's not enough to stop T3, not even by a long shot. There's only really pulverizers. There might be a flak or two, but there's just nowhere near enough. And already he's working on a Tempest. He's got some Phoenixes being massed. So maybe a Tempest Phoenix bombing run. Who knows? We'll keep our eyes on it if we can. Keep our eyes on the action. It looks like Brown may also be on T3 somewhere. Gotta try to keep an eye on everything. Yeah, so Brown is on core. Excuse me, that's ARM T3 here. working on a Gorgon. So the Gorgon is expensive, but that could have a huge impact on the game as well. And unfortunately, Stag has let most of these Bulldogs just die to the shooters. I don't really like that. That's a huge amount of metal that's just been thrown away by Stag, as he's not paying attention to the front line here, losing 7 Bulldogs for nothing, for free. But it is difficult when you're trying to control so many different things at the same time. Wotan asking his team, what is the plan? What is the plan indeed? Get yourselves together, my friends. Figure out something. I think the plan is Stagma building T3 Air and going for an all-in game-ending bombing extravaganza, because the southern team's not ready for that at all. So Lemminkainen will be going for the autocrats. Of course, it's going to take him a while to mass up any respectable number of these. Maybe he doesn't need that many, though. He's building a bastion here, but I don't really like that. I think he's just wasting his resources. The southern team has all the momentum on the ground. This bastion is just it's a large use of resources, but I'd like Lemminkainen to dump his resources into an army and try to get a push. Lemminkainen's pushes have already been so close to ending the game. He's been very close to winning multiple times, and Northern team has held on with nothing more than grit and some high quality duct tape. But yeah, I'd like to see Lemminkainen really push their advantage. He's already got many Nemesis with a few autocrats and some Cyclops, and of course the Vamps flying overhead. It could be enough to end the game. The Northern team really does not have that much defense. They've got a few Sentinels up here, but not enough to stop a T3 push. Nowhere close. It is difficult to make these decisions, though, because as the player, you have imperfect information. You can't see everything. This is all Lemminkainen knows. Of course, he's sending some scouts. He wants to see what's happening here. Lots of flax. But I wonder if he could tell that the Northern team doesn't have a ton. With a couple autocrats, he should have enough to break through here. He's got the Vamps for air control. This is mostly T1 and T2 stuff. Yeah, I think with a couple autocrats, he could easily make the game difficult for the southern team, or excuse me, the northern team. But Stag working on his second Tempest, I think. I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to send these in until he has a critical mass. He doesn't want the southern team to be aware of what he's planning until it's too late. They probably don't even know that he's on T3 Air. I don't think any scouts have made it this far back. So this is going to be one hell of a surprise for the southern team. When Stagma reveals his plan, a second autocrat being built, but right now there's only one. I'd really like to see at least 2 of these before the push happens. But it doesn't seem like Lemminkainen is really making this a priority. He is sending some construction units now, but these autocrats are slow, as you can see. They are slower than molasses. And I really wish he had 2. I think if he had 2, it would be so much more effective than just this one. And he might be able to win the game off it. But even this one autocrat will be absolute monster with all the support. Massive amounts of health and damage. Man, just imagine if he had a second one here. Just imagine a second autocrat like here, pushing through while everything was distracted here in the south. I mean, even with one autocrat, he might have enough to just break through all this. That is a sight to behold. But yeah, I do fear that one may not be enough. The Tempests are now moving out in force, and Lemminkainen's got to get his Vamps in the fray. He's got to get his air control. Here they come. So he is revealing his Vamps for the first time. His aerial dominance. As you can see, he'll do pretty well, but some Flax were in range, so the Flax take out the Vamps. But one Tempest, I think, was taken down, and the second one... No, excuse me. They're both alive, but this one is living with just a sliver of health, as you can see. He almost got that. But nice job by Stalemate, keeping both those alive. The Bastion now doing absolute work. But that second Autocrat, I think, now just rolling off the assembly line. I like this. I like this Eviscerator right here. This will give him nice control of the area. And the Gorgon has been completed. I wasn't really watching as the Gorgon has made its appearance on the field, but it's not really supported. And so without support, these Tempests will easily take care of it. Even this Tempest with 1 HP, the Gorgon cannot meaningfully interact with. So the Gorgon did kind of push down here and it got some damage done, but ultimately it's not really getting into the heart of the Northern team's base, into the eco and production. So all he did really was probably just donate some metal for the most part. Wotan working on maybe our first long-range plasma cannon of the game. And that could be quite an effective strategy if he gets enough Berthas and uses them well. As we've seen in previous games, the long-range plasma cannon game plan, nothing to scoff at, my friends. It's always a treat. But now we have still just one Autocrat, I guess. Again, I don't like what Lemon is focusing on. I think he should really get all of his construction on these Autocrats. Try to pump them out. See if they can do a push. But speaking of a push, Orange will try again. He's been doing this all game. These sort of tower defense pushes to lines of enemy defense. But Wotan, he's got this buttoned up pretty well. Several Sentinels covered by Dragon's Teeth. I think it's more than enough to hold this attack off. I do like that Orange has included Dominators, and he's using them in the vertical firing position. But unfortunately, Stagma still has those Tempests, and there is not much air defense. Most of this defense does get taken out. So this attack is doing better than I thought. But guys, one thing that's frustrating is that the Southern team's not working together. Look how much damage Orange did by himself. Imagine if he had a single teammate helping him. If anyone else was participating in this push, it could potentially be game-ending. It will take out the Protector here. No questions asked. And all this defense is gone, but once again, these pushes are only killing the defense and not accomplishing anything more. And you've got to do more than just kill defenses. Defenses can be rebuilt. You've got to get into the meat and potatoes of the enemy base. Lemminkainen's sending some more scouts. He wants to know what's going on. He's looking for targets. But this the Warden does go down to the Autocrat. But again, one Autocrat not nearly enough here. Lemminkainen never quite getting the critical mass he needs to break through. These Tempests are going to go down, though. Again, that was a very nice Eviscerator. Oh, no, that one lives with, again, just a sliver of health. But yeah, this was a very nice Eviscerator. Good, well placed. Allowing them to push. You know, maybe I was wrong about this Bastion. It has gotten, well, it's only gotten 4 kills, but it is kind of an annoyance, if nothing else. But the bigger issue is that I don't feel like Lemminkainen is ever really getting the critical mass of units he needs to break through this area. There's not even that much defense. it wouldn't take that much. Just a few autocrats, which he could afford easily. Stagma is maxed out on resources. He can't even use his resources at all. Neither can Wotan, so Southern team's got to do a better... I mean, the Southern team's got to do a better job of taking advantage of this this situation. I think they could push through if their teamwork was just a little bit better. They keep attacking one at a time. Now Brown's attacking without Lemminkainen. Orange was attacking without purple. Oh man, the Southern team has just been so close to breaking through so many times. Right at the edge of victory. But never quite clutching it out. I think that was the Cerberus that just went down there. After valiantly pushing on its own. But yeah, the teamwork... Look, the teamwork on the Northern team is much better. They've been working as a cohesive unit. They've been defending together. They've been pushing together. They've been coordinating their efforts together. Sharing resources. Communicating over chat. Putting down markers. But again... Lemminkainen probably does not realize how undefended this is. I mean, just a few autocrats, but he's spending so little resources on this project. I'm not sure where he's putting his resources instead. He's floating a lot of metal, but everyone is floating a lot of metal. But yeah, if it was me, I would just have a million constructors. Pumping out autocrats here. Try to push through with Brown's help. This is such a vulnerable location. This is the Achilles heel of the Northern team right now. They've got nothing up here. They could breathe on this and it would die. Wotan, of course, is here. And the Northern team, they're going to find it difficult to push. I think there's too much. I think there's way too much here to really get anything achieved. Even with the Luger spam. So the Southern team is in a good position defensively, but offensively they continue to make some crucial mistakes. Not really working together properly. Not combining their forces. Not sending their forces in the right locations. I mean, imagine if Orange took one of his Giga armies and combined it with these two Cerberuses and combined it with all of Lemminkainen's Cyclops, and they did like a 3-man push with this autocrat in the front. I think that would just end the game right there. But again, it is hard. It is harder because we can see the whole map. All they can see is this. So they may not realize just how little is actually up here. They do see some marauders, but guys, there's no defense. There's a slingshot that's anti-air. And Lemminkainen can just outrange these marauders. He is using these Cyclops to good effect. So he has some idea. But they should really understand just how undefended this all really is. It's painfully undefended. And this is the approach they need. Oh. Oh no. Wow. Okay, I missed the aerial attack, guys. I apologize. I'm probably going to go back. Yeah, I apologize. I missed the bombing run. I knew it was coming. I knew that that Stagman was eventually going to do that. But I missed it. I was focusing on other things, and it didn't take long for him. Sorry. Let me rewind here. Let me get back to the part of the replay where Stagma takes out 2 players in one fell swoop. Very, very nice by Stagma. Lemminkainen not ready to give up. But man, again, it was so close. If they could have just pushed together, with the northern team holding them on, just holding them off just long enough for Stagma to participate in this beautiful aerial raid, which I now need to rewind and see. So guys, just give me 1 second, and we will replay that attack in all of its glory. Okay, so as you can see, I've rewinded it a little bit, and essentially an Aurora just rolled off the assembly line. That's all that's happened. This was around the time that the Brown was pushing. The Cerberus is almost dead, so that's what I was focusing on, these Cyclops pushing through. But again, Stagma has finished this Aurora, and he's got a Vertigo. Of course, he still has some Tempest as well scattered around the map in different places, but here is the Aurora, here is the Vertigo for some scouting, and I think this is the bombing run that we missed as we were watching all of the action happening there in the northwest. This single Aurora, we already know, has been a game-ending proposition. And guys, I mentioned this the whole game. There's not enough air defense down here. Not by a long shot. Already the Aurora wreaking paths of destruction. Taking out the T3 plant. Oh my god, dude. Taking out the fusions. This one Aurora. Oh my god! Oh no! Okay, the fusions live. We're okay. The fusions survive. I think that attack is over, but those fusions were an inch away from being demolished. So I must have missed that attack first, but clearly there was another one as well. That clearly there was a second wave at some point, because yeah, I don't. It is hard to focus on everything at once, my friends. But we know that that attack was pretty devastating. It took out an experimental lab. It took out all the metal here. It took out some advanced aircraft plant, and it almost killed these fusions. And let's keep an eye on what Stagma does now, because that is... God, that was so close. That was an impressive attack. Is this Stagma going back down to finish them off? Not quite. Still putting pressure here. But man, I can't believe I missed that. There's just... one Aurora is sneaky. You can't always see it. It looks like he's working on a second one. Is Bertha not quite finished? Here we go. Here's the second attack. Here's the second wave. We've got two mostly full health Tempests and some Vertigo gunships. And once again, the southern team just has nowhere near enough air defense to save themselves from a nice T3 air raid. It looks like they took out a commander there with that Tempest. And another commander gets taken out. So that's what we missed. Very, very nice job by Stagma focusing down the commanders there with these Tempests. And now we're in a situation in the game where it has gone from being a 3v4 to a 2v3. And again, it's kind of frustrating because the southern team definitely had the opportunity to win there if they just combined their forces and did a coordinated attack in the north with everything. They could have won. It's difficult. Lemminkainen wasn't really using his resources that well. I'm not sure what his plan was, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not sure what he was thinking about focusing on. I think if he had just built if he had just focused all of his resources onto autocrat production and built, like, imagine 5 autocrats with the Cerberuses pushing through the north. I don't think the northern team could have stopped that, as long as they had a little bit of air defense to back it up. But speaking of air defense, I don't think there's enough in the world. Another Aurora bombing extravaganza, and this time I was going to say he will get the fusions. No, he'll barely miss those, but I don't think it matters. I think the damage has been done. 2 players have been killed. The eco has been completely ruined. And now the southern team is feeling the pain on defense, trying to protect themselves from this endless wave of units and bombers. But I really don't think they can now. That was a great comeback. Nice airplay by Stagma, taking out 2 commanders in one fell swoop. I'm not even sure how he found those commanders, or how he knew where they were exactly. Maybe they just weren't cloaked. But it is difficult sometimes as a player to remember to cloak your commanders and hide them. This one autocrat with 14 kills. I really like this Hellion. It's a cool new unit. I think it must be new this patch. The Doomsday Machine. It will attempt to hold on here, but the southern team is collapsing. This Bastion now in a terrible situation. It's got units. Oh, there's 2 Bastions. But, yeah, it's got units surrounding it, and the northern team, again, in a bit of a dire situation, or they've created a situation with those bombing runs that that makes it feel like this 2v3 is going to be rather impossible to win, even with these T3 units rolling off the line and all these whiplashes for air defense. Too many units streaming in, these fusion reactors finally being targeted. And man, they have a lot of health. These things are so hard to kill. Are they finally going to die? Is it finally going to be a happy birthday? It doesn't look like it. I mean, these things have lived with 1 HP the entire game. I don't know how they're doing that. But somehow the fusions live to fight another day. But I don't think the southern team is really going to live to fight another day, as Lemminkainen doing his best. A lot of hovercrafts being used here. And this part at least is somewhat defended with a single Bastion still alive, but is it defended enough? Lemminkainen having to spend all of his attention defending the south, and again the southern team just crumbling here. Crumbling, kind of, the walls are collapsing on them. They're doing their best, but as you can see, they're backed into this tiny western corner of the map. And waves of units. Now the autocrats are starting to stack up, but I think it's just too little too late. That strategy is just kind of kaput now. And as Stagma continues to pump out Tempests, it's going to get harder and harder, I think, for the southern team to hang on. Their air defense has not been great for a long time, and it's definitely not great now. I think Lemminkainen has lost all of his aerial control, and now with these autocrats being focused by the Tempests, I think any chance that the southern team could make a miraculous comeback, and it would be a miraculous comeback, is probably gone. Now, the northern team made a miraculous comeback because they were in a 4v3 situation for a long time, and it looked like they were going to die, but they just had the better teamwork, and they had the better strategy for sure. Staying alive barely long enough for Stagma to take his aerial control and punish the enemy team for just not building enough air defense. near this this southern approach. I just don't think they were ready for the sheer number of units. They have plenty of air defense here in the north. 4 whiplashes. So if they had had this amount of air defense down there, this game would still be going. It would be probably a much different situation than what they've currently found themselves in. But yeah, the situation they find themselves in now is quite dire. This Bastion is still alive. 54 kills. Very nice, but Pelican's moving through. I think this is just going to be a death by 1,000 paper cuts. As you can see, Pink sending in a massive wave from every angle. Spiders and zappers. Trying to kill these fusions. Can they finally get it? This thing has been on 1 HP for the last 20 minutes. If they could just have something target it, but the Tempests are moving in as well. And yeah, I think with this endless stream of units, that's going to be all she wrote. Lemminkainen bows out, and now it's just Brown and this tiny corner. He's got plenty of air defense, but that's about it. He doesn't have much defense on the ground. He's got a single Cerberus, and of course his commander, and a bulwark. But that's it. Everything else is completely vulnerable, and a single Panther will probably be enough to kill most of his eco. And again, he's got nice air defense. Stag's going to have a tough time bringing those Tempests anywhere near this base, but it doesn't really matter because there's a million Zeuses and Spiders and Panthers streaming in. And now focusing on Brown's commander, I'm sure. This is a... yeah, that was a really good game. Great comeback by the southern team, or excuse me, by the northern team. They were in a 3v4 situation, Lemminkainen causing Red to rage quit early on. And they really did not play it easy. They didn't give them a chance to recover. But nonetheless, they did a fantastic job of holding on. Great teamwork by the northern team. And they had the better strategy. They just survived long enough until Stagma could use his T3 air to snipe 2 commanders, and then after that, it's all she wrote. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you appreciated the cast, and I will catch you in the next video.